Welcome back to the channel. My name is Shelby, aka 88 Fox. Today we are working on the 89 Fox, the little 4-cylinder Mustang that I got for free a little while back. And today we are going to be cleaning and rebuilding the injectors in this car. We did a bunch of fuel system stuff on it previously and got it up and running. Runs decent. Now, I wouldn't say it runs good. And I have narrowed it down to the injectors. I've got a rebuild kit here, and these things are just dog gross. So we're going to clean them all up, rebuild them, and go from there. I also wanted to clean the inside of them as well, so I went ahead and put together kind of a backwoods injector cleaning kit. This is an old coil pack boot connected to carb cleaner, and then a 12-volt supply. Theoretically, we'll put the rebuilt or the stripped injector in here, hook up power and ground at the same time as we push on the carb cleaner and clean out the inside of it. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. This is more of an experiment than anything, so cool. Alright, so first thing we're going to do is show you everything that comes in this little rebuild kit. You've got new O-rings for the top and the bottom. You've got, I think these are called pintail caps, something like that. It's just like a plastic O-ring, and then you've got your little filters right here. These filters, I assume, is what typically gets clogged the most. This whole kit was like $15 on Amazon, I think, so we'll see how it goes. So first thing I'm going to do is try to attempt to strip the injector. I'm just going to give my little handy dandy screwdriver over here, pop the pencil cap off. Well, hope you can pop it off. These are back from 1989, and I assume they've never been changed. So that's off. I'm going to take this O-ring off, and this little plastic O-ring. Now we're going to repeat. We're taking the O-ring off, and then now you need to get that little filter out. So I did a little bit of digging. It just pops in, right? But it's pretty hard. So I got this screws the same, a little bit oversized. I'm just going to feed it in there, and I'm going to twist it in, put a little pressure, and I'm going to wiggle back and forth. And there is your filter. Should be able to twist it off, and there's all your old parts. Now this is a stripped injector. Going to go ahead and repeat the process with the rest of them. I've already done one because I had to test it out right before I showed everybody. So I got 2 more to do. I'll go ahead and speed the video up. Alright, so we have all the injectors stripped, and I cleaned them up on the outside as good as possible. Now, before I put the filter baskets back in there and rebuild them, I want to go ahead and clean out the inside of them. So these do have, like, I don't know, some electrical mechanism in them that you can't just spray in here and have it go through and clean. So you need to actually hook them up and spray through in order to clean them. So that's what we did. What this setup is for, it is very, very basic, but like I said, this was an old spark plug, or an old coil pack plug, and this is carb cleaner. I'm going to put this at a better angle. So the idea here is we are going to put power, we're going to spray a little bit, and then we're going to put ground to spray it through. So we want to try to do this all in real time. And it popped off, which is what I expected. Okay. Alright, we're going to have to try a different setup. Alright, here is version 2. Essentially, I added more tape. And I'm able to trigger it. Well, son of a bitch. That didn't work either. Okay, so it does work. Oh no. This is fun. I did have it working, I promise. Let's see. There we go. Cool. Well, there's one. That's good enough. I've gone through this one quite a few times. Let's hook up number 2. I got a crazy dog in the background acting crazy. Okay. I need to figure out a way to hold it better. Should make a mount. I really wanted to use a valve stem because I saw somebody else did that and it worked really well for them. But I don't have any valve stems handy, so cool. It's good enough for that one. Two down, 2 more to go. I'll make a better system for this next time. Experimentations. Cool. There's 3. It doesn't really matter which side you hook up. I'll do this one again. Keeps popping right out, huh? Okay, that's good enough. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and say that we cleaned the inside of all these. They sprayed out pretty good. They have these little pulse meters too, which I think would be good to use as well, so you can kind of check all the pulse on them, make sure everything's actuating like it's supposed to. But you know, version 1, whatever. We'll go from there. So now I'm going to go ahead and put these all back together. We're going to start out with getting a small little hammer. That way we can put the filter basket in. We can take one of these. We're going to put that filter basket in. We're just going to tap it in like so. Get it flush. We'll put the O-ring on that side. Put this plastic O-ring on. Put this new O-ring on. And then the pencil cap. I believe it goes on a little further than that. There we go. Okay. And that one is complete. Now just repeat the process with the other 3. Alright, so I got all 4 of them done. Again, new O-rings at the top, new filter, new plastic O-ring, regular O-ring, and then pencil cap. I'm not sure if I install these like you're supposed to. I'm not a mechanic, so whatever. But I did check to make sure that that needle, I guess, is right in the middle. Yeah, so we'll go ahead and throw these back in and see how she runs. The 89 Mustang, it runs really good now. After we replaced fuel injectors in it, it just started right up, drove it around. Sounds great, or it doesn't sound great. Runs great, but it sounds terrible. I went ahead and ordered a full exhaust kit off of Rock Auto because the original exhaust was just terrible. So I'll show you. You've got this piece of pipe, obviously not mounted any hangers, nothing, welded up. Somebody decided they wanted to just straight pipe it all the way. So all the way from the exhaust manifold down, it's just a shoddy welding job. And yeah, it sounds terrible. Before I can do anything else on this vehicle, like, I have to get this exhaust replaced. So one of the main reasons for that is, you know, it just stinks too bad. Like, I can't even run it for more than a minute before the entire shop is just loaded. It smells just like gas. This is going to be a daily driver, or hopefully. So we're just going to replace the whole exhaust on it and then go from there. It does have a high idle. We'll see if that kind of levels out a little bit. And then if not, then we will tune like the IAC and some other things to try to get that cleaned up. So yeah, so we'll go ahead and do replace the entire exhaust, start it up, see how it sounds, which will hopefully be a lot better, and then go from there. So it's a new day. I stopped filming the exhaust when I was putting it together because I realized pretty quickly once we started slapping everything together that it was not going to work out. Essentially what I did is I got online and I got with a couple of exhaust companies, Walker exhaust and AP exhaust, and just kind of mixed and matched things together to try to get it to work. Unfortunately, that did not happen. So I did end up throwing a couple things, but you know, it's all good. And I ended up going ahead and grabbing a couple more parts and using that little welder over there, went ahead and welded up my own muffler. And so on. I am not a welder, so don't laugh. And got all this in and straightened. So the exhaust is complete. It doesn't leak and it sounds pretty good. So I'll go ahead and drop it and do a reveal. So I got her, if you couldn't tell earlier, during the runs, it was idling extremely high. I wanted to get the exhaust done before I even started messing with the idle. You know, just it was just a terrible smell that would happen in here within like the first 30 seconds. So I had to get that done before I went any further. So I got on the Google machine and I found how to reset the idle for this car. You can see now I have it idling somewhere around, I'd probably say the 850 mark. So I might need to adjust it a little bit more, but like it's much better than it was at. It was at well over 2,000 RPMs. So let me explain kind of how we got here. So you have an idle screw right here. All right. Now you can bring that idle screw all the way back out and try to get it to idle where you want to, but probably not going to happen. I backed it all the way out and we're still sitting at like 1,200 RPMs. So I got on Google, found this 2.3 liter turbo forum, and it said what I needed to do is a base idle reset. So essentially what a base idle reset is, you allow the engine to get up to operating temperature, which I didn't do. I did it probably about 150. And then you unplug the idle air control sensor, which is this sensor right here. First time I did it, I had the screw all the way backed out and it just died. So I turned it in a little ways, restarted it, unplugged the idle air sensor, and adjusted the idle to about 750 RPMs. Once I did that, I shut the car off, plugged the idle air control sensor back in, then disconnected the battery. Let it set for about 30 minutes, excuse me, and then hooked the battery back up, started it up, and then that's where you just heard where we were at. So just so y'all can see again, we're sitting at about 900 RPMs, which it called out in the forum that, it can take upwards of 75 miles for the actual computer to reset and relearn its new base idle. So I think the next thing that we're going to do before we go and readjust, hey look, Odin, what's up dog? I think the next thing that we're going to do before we actually try to readjust the idle again is go ahead and drive this car around. So, purpose of driving the car around, I'm going to try to gather some data as well on, you know, what we need as far as drivability goes. Like, is there a bunch of play in the suspension? Is there X, Y, and Z? Haven't really driven this car. I did drive it just a smidge after we got the new injectors in it, so that I could put some new fuel in it. Shut up, dog. Come here. Odin. But I haven't done anything other than that. So we'll drive it around, we'll see how it goes, and then we will report back. Oh yeah. She's turning into a real car. Alright, so we're gonna take the 4-cylinder out for a spin. Try to figure out what all it needs. A couple things that are for certain that I know right off the bat. It's gonna need new shocks, new struts. We got a power steering leak. Not sure where that's coming from, but we'll have to get that fixed. Definitely feel a little bit of a little bit of play in the transmission, drive shaft. So I'll have to figure that one out. Really need to get some shocks and suspension. Probably gonna do full suspension on this thing. But as far as motor problems go, I think we're good to go. I mean, it actually runs really good. It just everything else. Sounds like the synchros are going out in maybe third, but definitely fourth gear. Yeah, fourth gear is pretty tough. So, cool. I think that might be the next step, so we're just going to go ahead and get some of the suspension going, cleaned up, so it can drive smoother. It pulls pretty hard to the right. I know they sell the front end kits for pretty cheap, so we'll probably just do that in the saga that is the Foxbody Mustang that I got for free. It's definitely not free no more. Put in a couple $100 into it. Labor hours, but overall, you know, it's what I do. Just mess with junk. So cool. Alright, so I'm gonna get this thing home, and then we'll start piecing together some suspension stuff for it, and then next time we'll get some suspension stuff done. I'll probably start working on replacing the heater core. I also need to get this fan controller wired in correctly, because right now I just have it on the switch. And then after that, it's all just cosmetic things. But yeah, be sure to like, subscribe, comment. If you wonder why I'm doing this stuff, it's because I like doing it. I also want to see this, you know, this car is probably on its way to the scrap bin, but we're gonna save it, you know, because that's what I like to do. So yeah, like, subscribe, comment, share. Let me know what I should do else with the car. If you've got some Foxbody parts laying around that you want to donate to the cause, email me. And yeah, wait for the next episode. signing out.